Hi everyone, it's Dr. Telma here. As you all know, I just hit a huge milestone after 11 years of studying. I'm finally a medical doctor. It was a long journey. I was full of ups and downs, but it was worth it. And so I asked you guys to send me some questions about how I did it. And I got lots of questions. There were so many. So I will be answering some of the most asked ones on how I transitioned from anatomy to medicine and how I stayed consistent and my hardest challenges and many more. So let's dive in. First question here. I'm an anatomy student. How did you do it? So, firstly, I'd say the goal was never to study anatomy, it was to study medicine. But unfortunately, my JAM score was not cut off for the requirements for medicine. So I was given anatomy. Just like we all do. I mean, people in Nigeria know this that if you apply for a course and you don't get up to the cutoff mark, you're either given another course or you're not given admission at all. So I was given anatomy to study and I wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I kept trying. I kept writing jam. Every year I was writing jam. And my reason was because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get the, change of course because it's very difficult to be able to change course after your 100 level anatomy. Although a lot of people say that you can change course from your anatomy to medicine, but it's very difficult. And I wasn't caught up for that because I know that it required so much. And the only way I could get my dream course was to write jam. So I was consistently writing jam. I mean, at the point it was sad because I mean most of my friends were already in school, studying their dream courses, and I was just here studying anatomy, a course that I wasn't interested in. So I I kept trying my best. I kept writing jam. I wrote jam in my 100 level, my 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, and that was when I got the admission. Writing jam wasn't easy, but my determination to achieve my goals kept me going. My advice: one, start planning early. Two, research on your school's requirements for what you want. Three, do not fear extra years. What matters the most is getting to where you want to be. Moving on to the second question. Were your parents supportive of your decision? Yes, they were very supportive, but like many parents, they had their concerns. Medicine is expensive and it takes time. But the moment that they saw I was serious, they gave me their full support. Emotionally, mentally, financially, they were there. They were there throughout the journey, and I'm grateful to them. So, question number three: which school did you attend? I attended the great Chuku Emeka Odumegu Ojukwu University, COOU. That's where I studied my anatomy and completed my MBBS journey. But know this, every school has its unique challenges, but mine definitely shaped my resilience. Next question. What websites or resources did you use while studying? And how did you know medicine was what you really wanted? Hmm. Okay, for the websites and resources, for anatomy, I used an application called Teach Me Anatomy. I will be inserting the application on the screen so you can know what app I'm talking about. This particular app was perfect. I mean, anybody that has studied anatomy and used this app knows how good it was. Likewise, medicine, it was good too in medicine. And then for medicine, I did more of studying the slides my lecturers gave to me, past questions, and then some apps like Osmosis. I mean, there are a lot. This particular question, I think I am going to repeat it by giving a comprehensive studying material, resources, and everything that you need to use while studying, because there's so much I can't list them in 5 seconds. I mean, in a minute, there are a lot. So there is also Osmosis, Ninja Nerd. These are on YouTube. And trust me, they are good. If you're having a difficult time understanding a topic that a lecturer has taught in class, just go to Osmosis or Ninja Nerd. And there are so many others on YouTube, which I would be explaining in another video. And as for knowing if medicine was my path, deep down, I always knew. Even while studying anatomy, I knew it was my final destination. What I wanted was to treat patients, diagnose patients, and create real impact. And that conviction kept me going. Moving on to the next question. How did you do it? This question, okay, it was by grace, determination, and consistency. Truly, there is no magic. It was one step at a time, refusing to quit, leaning on God, my family, and my own discipline. So, moving over to the next question. How did you stay consistent on days you felt lazy, broken, or overwhelmed? I had many of those days. And if you're human, you are bound to have days like this. What kept me going was reminding myself of the bigger picture. And I also gave myself permission to rest when needed because burnt out is real. But after resting, I'd get back up because that's what discipline is, doing what you have to do even when you don't feel like doing it. Honestly, I think I'm going to have a series of videos where I'll talk about being consistent even when you know you're a lazy person like me. So let's go back to the next question. What was the hardest part of studying medicine and how did you get through it? The hardest part for me was the long duration and the pressure. 11 years is no joke. I think another hard part was looking at my friends move on with life, doing big things. They're done with a 4 years course and they're, working, just doing things. And then you're just like, when would I start working? When would I get out of the university lifestyle? When? I felt like I was backward and my friends were ahead of me. But then again, I enjoyed what I was doing. I was happy at the course that I was studying because that was my dream. And yes, it took this long to get to this point, but I'm here now. I am Dr. Telma. So, adding to the stress of going to clinics, numerous classes, it was heavy. What simply got me through was my faith, my support system, and my eyes on the prize. And I told myself, this will not be forever, but the reward is forever. So, the next question. How did you transition from anatomy to medicine? I'm a physiology student now and I want to switch. I think I've answered this question, and it was one of the first questions that I answered, but that was for an anatomy student. So I will just say this again. If you're in a place that you do not want to be, a course or a department that you're not happy at, you just have to keep trying. Either you go through JAM, or you go through direct entry, or you go through transfer. There are so many paths. But if you would like me to make a video of how you can go through this path, I can do that. And remember, sometimes your path to your dream means starting all over again, and that's okay. Next question. I'm a COOU Anatomy student year one. I want to switch to medicine, but I'm scared. Should I finish anatomy first or switch now? I understand your fear, and I felt the same when I was in your position. And here is my advice. If you're sure medicine is your dream, the earlier you switch, the better. Because completing anatomy first will add more years, unless there is a reason why you can't switch right away. Don't worry, your time in anatomy will not be wasted. It gives you a solid foundation for medicine. The key is not letting fear stop you. Whether now or later, you can still become the doctor that you've always dreamt of. And for the last question, Can you give a story time about how you spent 11 years in medical school? A lot of you asked this question, but honestly, the story is too detailed to be squeezed in this question and answer series. So I'll be dedicating my next video talking about how I spent 11 years on this journey, my setback, my breakthrough, my regrets, and the lessons. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. And that brings us to the end of this question and answer. And I hope this video brought you clarity and encouragement, especially if you're on a similar path like me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Thank you for watching. And remember, the journey might be long, but it's surely worth it. Dr. Telma.